Hey guys, this is DevGrew66 and today we're back on some Arma Reforger. Today in this video I'm going to show you guys how to be a more efficient 11 Bravo, aka your infantryman. Alright, because I'm in a server by myself, we're going to say hypothetically that a lot of players are going into this ammunition depot and trying to customize their loadout. That's one thing you do not want to do. What you want to do is capture key fobs. And these are little small ones that you can see that I just highlighted from Kentucky. Just letting you know guys, if you highlight the base that you're going to attack, or in this case a fob, you are going to get promoted a lot faster. Alright, so you saw me mount up in a vehicle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plan a route so I can dismount my troops, aka hypothetically, and myself. Now, typically an infantryman is not going to be driving a vehicle, it's going to be an 88 mic doing troop trans. Troop trans is, well, it's in the name, you're transporting troops. So once you dismount, you're going to have to walk the rest of the way. I know it kind of sucks and you want to go into the action and go directly into that fob, but if you do that, you're going to get yourself and your team killed. And trust me, I've seen it a lot of times in a lot of different servers, and everyone thinks it's funny, but at the same time, you're wasting more supplies when you do that in the process. Alright, you can see me trying to recon everything out. Now, the one thing that you want to do is, one, you can see on the bottom right hand corner, make sure that is 0 at 300. Now, it's kind of hard for me to say why it's 0 at 300, but for the United States military, we always range it at 300 and we're used to it. Alright, so when doing that, you also do not want to stick out like a sore thumb like how you see me doing this. This is for demonstrations of what happens when you do that. Now, right off the bat, I end up getting shot at, and so I have to go back into vegetation, aka my concealment. So one thing that an infantryman is also good at is concealing themselves. And concealing yourself means that you're hiding, you're pretty much camouflaging. This could be trees, bushes, and so much more. The only difference between concealment and cover is cover can pretty much block bullets to a certain degree, more or less. You can see me going right behind this rock. This is my cover, and then the rest of the grass around me is my concealment. So yeah, you also have to keep that in mind of the difference between the two. All right, now you can see in a gunfight it does usually take forever. Now, when you're playing different other games, you notice that when you're in a gunfight it ends quickly and fast. Well, in this game you need to be thinking more logically and more tactical, because if you don't, you're going to be doing something like this. Alright, you can see me having a Humvee up here, and this is for also hypothetically that if you guys had the Humvee with the 50 cal. When you have the 50 cal, what you want to do is take it at a high ground so that way the gunner can see everything around that certain base. And you can see I have a clear view of everything, but what's not going to be smart is if the driver takes you all the way to the base. And I'm going to show you right here in a few seconds on what happens when you think it's clear, or say, hey, we can take them on because you got the fucking big ass 50 cal. Well, hate to say it, but this is what's going to end up happening. Now, I'm not gonna lie guys, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna see somebody doing that in this game, and honestly it is kind of funny at first, but at the same time you have to think supply points. Somebody's gonna end up coming back over here and is gonna be wasting more supplies. So yeah, don't let them do that. Alright, next thing I'm gonna teach you guys is shooting an azimuth. Now this is when, typically, hypothetically, if you do not have any vehicles or a helo pickup, you're gonna have to walk. And you're probably thinking, well, that's dumb, why would I do that? Well, I'm going to be genuinely honest with you guys. Infantry guys can walk long ways, and they do it very, very well. Not to mention what I'm doing right here is another infantry skill that they are very good at, and that's shooting an azimuth and doing land nav. If you do not know how to do land nav, or if you're always waiting for that helo pickup and you're just wasting more and more time, well, I hate to say it, you're gonna fucking walk. Alright, so what you're gonna see me do is draw these lines. Now the first line was way off, meaning that if I were to shoot my azimuth, and you can see it was at 315, if I follow that, I'm going to be way off of my objective, and I'm not going to be at all near where I need to be. I drew that second line to see where I'm going to be, and I'm double checking to make sure that it is there, and you can see that I'm on the objective, and if I shoot my azimuth or 320, that means that if I walk and go through that tree line, that means I'm going to be at my objective. Alright, and you can see me. You can see that there is a line right here that represents 325, and so you're probably thinking, well, what if I go into that middle intersection of 320 and just shoot at 325? Well, this is what's going to end up happening. Now you can see right here I am looking at this damn house, meaning that if I keep on going over there, I'm gonna end up going completely way off. So again, when you shoot your azimuth, make sure you are going towards the number that it says. Even if it doesn't have a number, and let's just say it was at 321, well, shoot at 320 but go a little bit to the right. Not too much, because if you do, like I said, you're gonna be fairly off. Alright, now when you're taking over objectives, or in this case a fob, always provide security, because you can see right here I'm still doing this by myself, and I can see that there are more enemies coming around just to secure this area and trying to find me. Alright, so always secure an area, do a 360-degree sweep, make sure that there are no more enemies, and if there are, you are going to have to eliminate them in order to take back this fob. Alright, now key note guys is when you guys are taking over fobs and securing them, make sure you find cover. Alright, not concealment but cover. Alright, so once you're done securing the base, hypothetically this is when you're going to call in your 88 mics and tell them, hey, we need supply runs at Kentucky, and they're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to be there in a little bit, make sure you provide security. This is when you do your 360-degree perimeter for security, and then you're going to let the 88 mics know that, hey, we got security up, and so on and so forth. And then once they get there, then you guys are able to do a situational check to see if everyone's okay. And then you can see me doing in my inventory, I need to see how many mags are good. And you can see only one of them is in the red, meaning that I do not have that many rounds in that mag. Alright, so hypothetically, again, we're at the main base, but if we were at Kentucky, now we're able to build our supply depot, and now we're able to have our own weapons. This is where we can have our time to take what we need, customize, but do not overtake too much stuff, because if you do, you're going to be slow as shit, and you're going to be a liability for your team. Alright. And also, if you're customizing your character in terms of uniform wise, I do recommend that you get a backpack with medical supplies. I recommend 3 IVs, 3 bandages, and 1 more extra tourniquet, because you never know when you need that. And you can see me grab an extra medical kit, and you're probably wondering why, because it also has extra IVs, and if I remember correctly, morphine and 1 more other stuff. But yeah, now you can see me taking off my ACH, and you're probably wondering why. And it's because in the back, when you go into third person mode, you can see those 2 little white lines. Those are called cat eyes. Now I'm not going to go too much into it, because I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to talk about that, but then again, somebody probably already has, and me personally, I just don't want to talk about it. But you can look it up in another video on what is cat eyes. Alright, but you can see me fueling up my quote-unquote Humvee. So when you're doing that, always build up a fuel depot before you go on a next operation. Always fill up your vehicle, because you do not know how far that vehicle is going to need to go in terms of your next objective. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that infantry guys are smart. These guys are always trying to find weaknesses in like certain areas. In this case, I'm trying to find walls that are probably broken or that I can hop over, or am I gonna have to take the main gate? All right, so I know this isn't scripted, guys, but for me, I don't really like to do scripted. I like to freeball it, but you know, it's the way how I do it. But you can see me trying to find that weak spot, and you always want to do that ahead of time before you go in. Right, the main entrance is going to be your last resort unless you actually have an army going in with you, or in this case a platoon. Now, I do recommend that you guys, when you don't have vehicles, that you walk, because the reason why is in case if you get shot at or somebody tries to shoot at you, you can run and then go into your cover or concealment if you can break contact with the enemy. But luckily we got the main base and we got a fob. Now we got promoted to sergeant. So now what we're going to do is build a living quarters and get the fire team. Now fire teams have 4 main people: your assault rifle, your gunner, aka the one with the machine gun, your marksman, and your grenadier. Now, because I'm adding myself into it, I'm going to be the squad leader, meaning that I'm in charge of these people and how this operation is going to play out. Now, since this is AI, you can't really do much, but you have to pretty much learn how to play with them and train with them in the training scenario, which I still need to do. But yeah, let me tell you each of the roles. You can see that the marksman is going to be going from medium to long range distances with his rifle. Gunner is going to be laying down suppressive fire with his machine gun, so that way we can flank. Grenadier is going to have the 40 mic or the 40mm grenade launcher, and is going to be pretty much shooting at a long range distance. But if they're fairly clustered in terms of enemies, or if an enemy is inside a building, the 40 mic is going to be the way to go to get them out. Alright, you can see that if this was a quote-unquote hypothetical real people, all I'm going to do is grab the Humvee, fuel it up, also fill up the reserve gas can that's in the trunk. You can see it right here. If not that many people know, depending on the server too, it may or may not have that. Alright, but you can see me filling it up. Again, always want to fill it up so that way, in case if we have to go long distances and we don't see what's it called, a gas station, well, we have one extra gas canister in there. All right, so yeah. All right, but when that happens, next is we're gonna brief on the mission. In this case, we're going to go to Nevada, and we're gonna select it so that way we get those extra points. All right, so I'm gonna plan out in a very precise and tactical way of getting in. In this case, we're going to use the stream, but unfortunately, because these are AI, they don't really think like actual players in terms of getting into cover and so on and so forth. And you can see that I did not know that I had to say suppressive fire to get these guys to shoot back, and unfortunately they all died. And hopefully maybe later down the road I can get better with these AI, but I can only do so much with these AIs. And so yeah, but another thing you also need to take into consideration too is when you're planning, not everything's going to go as planned. All right, and that's the cold hard truth, both in reality and in this game, is that you might think that your plan is going to be very, very accurate and very tactical, but at the same time you might run into some blockades in your planning, and next thing you know, this could actually happen. You may live or you may not live. Maybe your teammates might not get hit, maybe one of them might die, or all of them. And unfortunately, in the next clip that you're about to see is that all of them were dead and I was the last one alive. And well, luckily we got all of the enemies, but yeah, it was a shit show and there's not really much I could do. But anyway guys, I'm gonna end it right here. I know you guys probably wanted to see some room clearing, but that's a whole different video. But anyway, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video.